It's that time to have that very important conversation on sexual and gender-based violence. But before we do that, we can't go without asking you what your level in the French language is. Your ability to communicate in French gives you an upper hand in your travel experience, your education, and your career development. And that's why my friends at Alliance Française says, come over, we'll teach you French. Very easy. They have experienced and professional teachers. They have in-person, online, and hybrid classes. They have flexible time schedules, and they have French for teenagers and children above the age of 3. To register, call 050-128-7814, 050-128-7814, or send them a WhatsApp message on 050-128-7818, or you could also visit their website at afaccra.org. Alliance Française, French Up Your Life today. Joining us this morning to have this very, again, important conversation, we have Jennifer K. Ekwamwa. She's Programs Lead, Developing Women for Skills and Opportunities Initiative, an NGO. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
And then we have Christine, I believe. Christine, MKN Darlington.
Hi.
Lawyer, I'm sorry. MKN Darlington is a lawyer, advocate for women's rights. But Christine Amwa will be joining us via Zoom. She is a teacher and an entrepreneur. Good morning, ladies.
Morning. Good morning. How are you?
Stand by ladies this morning. Very important. And Christine, I will check if Christine is joining us via Zoom now. All right, she's on Zoom. So let's start off with the conversation. I was just telling MFR that I was looking at the numbers this morning. I was like, please get out of here. What are you talking about? 1 in every 3 women all over the world experience sexual or gender-based violence. That is scary. But for those who may not understand what gender-based violence is, could you help me? Please,
okay,
Jennifer.
so let me just read this definition out, because I don't want to just give my own version, so there'll be all kinds of disputes. So according to Europa.eu, gender-based violence, by definition, is violence directed against a person because of that person's gender, or violence that affects persons of a particular gender disproportionately. And there are various types of gender-based violence. We have psychological violence, stalking, physical, forced marriage, sexual violence you mentioned, which includes rape, female genital mutilation, forced abortion and forced sterilization, and then sexual harassment.
Wow, that's quite a number of them. A lot. We are going to slow them down and then understand them as well. But I want to know, based on the definition you gave, why is it that this conversation is so much about girls and women and not so much about boys as well?
Well, I mean, even as I mentioned the types of the gender-based violence, the psychological, the female genital mutilation, the stalking, the sexual violence, which includes rape, these are all various kinds of crimes which are committed against women.
Okay. And
in some circles are even termed as effeminate crimes, that they only happen to women, especially a crime like rape. That's why for the longest time, it was even thought that men could not get raped, because it was like, oh, only women could get raped. Because it is when a man forces himself to have sex with a woman against her will. And for the longest time, that was the definition. That's how we saw rape. So even now, male victims of rape can't even speak up. A lot of the times, what happens with gender-based violence and why it is centered on women the way it is because the psychological one, even financial violence in relationships, when your own resources, your financial resources are withheld from you, from your partner. These are all forms of violence which are perpetrated mainly, and as the definition stated, disproportionately against women. And it's because of the type of upbringing, the type of toxic narratives that are placed on men and on women as they are raised to think that women are supposed to undergo some sort of violence to be accepted in society. Otherwise, stalking, why would you stalk a woman? Why would you psychologically harass a woman, gaslight her, hurt her, and then make her look as if that crime is her own fault? She's the one who was doing it, not somebody who was doing that to her. Even rape. When a woman is raped, or when a man rapes a woman, the first question is, what did you do? How did you provoke this man? What did you wear? What did you drink? So it's as if our very existence as women calls this type of violence onto us. That's why gender-based violence tends to focus mainly on women.
It's really interesting. And taking it slowly, what really accounts for all these things you've mentioned? What really makes men, since I'm not saying that this is just against women, it happens to men too, like you said, but a chunk number of people has to do with women. Now, what really forces men into, for instance, raping, stalking, abusing a woman emotionally, and what really is the foundation of that? Why would men do that, or people do that?
The foundation of that is the socialization. What do we teach boys? We teach boys that if they are violent against women, if they hit a woman, when we're growing up, if you raise a girl's skirt, or if you snap her bra, or if when she's menstruating and you notice that she's stained or something, then you tease her. If you, a very good example, a gentleman went to a bank and he saw a bank teller, and the bank teller made a mistake, and the bank teller was a woman. And the mistake she made, the gentleman told her that if you were my wife, I would have beaten you. And he said it in public, out loud, casually. It made sense for him to say that. We are raising men to think that they have autonomy over women's bodies. And it starts at a very young age, that even if a man should hit you or touch you inappropriately, maybe touch your buttocks or touch your breasts, maybe even touch your vagina, even touch your face, without your say-so, we feel like, oh, you leave him. Leave him. That's how he is. He's just playing with you. No, he's not playing with you. He's overstepping his boundaries. But we don't teach men not to overstep boundaries. And they grow up with this. So they feel they can police how women dress. Oh, your skirt is too short, so I'm going to take advantage of this. Oh, you're drinking too much, so if I sexually assault you, it's okay. That is how we are raising our men in society. And that's why even when you speak to adult men and you explain to them that it's because of how you were raised, that's why you feel that you can treat women a certain way. They always feel like, no, but this is normal. We are all doing it. We are all doing it. I once had a discussion with my male friends. I said, oh, no, rape is more prevalent than you think it is. They're like, no, no, no. It's only some type of men who do that. I said, go and talk to your female friends, the women in your life, your sisters, your women cousins, your aunties. Even speak to your mother. Ask them, the men that made them feel uncomfortable, the sexual harassments they feel, they face. Even when you're going to the market and then the boys will be, oh, him, and they'll be touching you, calling you, pulling you to come and see their waist. That's all part of harassment. But we are so used to it because we are women. Our bodies are supposed to be fair game for men. We're not supposed to have any body autonomy. A lot of it is socialization.
Okay. Let me just add to what you're saying. So, just like Jennifer said, there are systems that have been put in place, either actively or passively, that enhances men's behavior to be abusive towards women. And I say there are systems because this has been over a long period of time. So we've seen from our ancestors how women have been treated as, let's say, commodities or possession. That has been passed on with time. It's either actively passed on, where you raise children and you actually tell them, you know, when you become of age, we need to get you a woman. Then you feel that, oh, that's part of the thing, it's part of my rites of passage to be a man. I must have a woman. Or passively, where we watch movies, we read, we see how subconsciously women have been put in positions where they feel inferior or look inferior, and so we tend to treat them as inferior. Moving on to this time. So all these things have been subconsciously placed in the minds of everyone. Now, it's not even just about men, of everyone. And so both men and women tend to abuse women by reason of them being a woman.
Right.
And so when I was growing up, how dare you speak up?
Yeah.
So I had a lot of that. And that's because everybody around me has been brought up, if you're a woman, you don't speak up. You have to wait and see if there's a man around to be able to speak up. And I always say that in Ghana, we don't really appreciate the intensity of gender-based violence because we see these things. In other countries, if you're a woman, even now in 2022, if you're a woman and you don't have a husband, you cannot own a passport. It is that bad. Why? Because the man has been put in a position of authority, of the person who is more important. And so, as a woman, this system has been put in place to be abusive towards you because you can't be your own person. That's abuse. And that's not even a human being meting out that abuse towards you. That's a system that has been put in place where you are made to feel inferior. You cannot own a land because you're a woman. And this is because of the whole idea that men must have the property. You, woman, you are one of the properties he owns anyway. Now, because of that system, then there's now human beings coming out of that system who are actually meting out the violence onto you actively or directly. And so you have, in such situations, a man who thinks that they can marry you. You don't have a choice in it. As long as he wants to marry you, he must marry you. You become one of his possessions. Now, he's thinking like this because of the system that he's coming out from. And then there are the other women who would support him because they don't know better. That's what they went through. They think that it gives a woman the better life. Oh, you need a husband who can take care of you. That's what they say. Take care of you. By taking care of you, it means that he must be economically empowered, not you. What besides you if you're a woman and you want to work? Work for what? Your place is in the kitchen. So then, I just want to let you understand how people, or what the foundation or what goes behind the ideas of people meting out violence against women. Now that goes even from there. Now we've gotten to the point where women want to speak up. Women are saying, no, this cannot be right. I'm just like you. We were born the same way. How is it that I should be placed in an inferior position and you have to take a higher position? And then we are having systems gradually change to make sure that women have equal rights. And some men can't stand that. And so what do? You see that then they must look for any little opportunity to show that I am powerful. I am more powerful than you. It's about power. Abuse is about power. I say that to people every time. If you look at any form of abuse, it's about power. Let me show you that I'm more powerful than you. So is it about owning property? Even if you're husband and wife, which now we are allowed to have equal rights, say in who you marry and all of that. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people anyway. But let's own the property. Let me put my name on it. Why? Because I'm the man. Now, a lot of people don't think that this is abusive, but it is. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong when a woman decides to do something when she has all the information that she has. She is informed, well informed. She decides that I want my husband's name on this. She decided that voluntarily, out of all the information she has, she understands what that means to put my husband's name on it. She understands the implication. She says, that's what I want to do. That is not abusive. But where she doesn't have a choice, or where you think you can coerce her with love, pampering, let me love bomb her into making this decision, that is abuse. Oh, you have your money, but let me tell you what to do with it. That is abuse. So a lot of people, and we've been trained to think, oh, it's marriage. It is not marriage. That is somebody who is actively putting you in a position where you don't have a choice to decide, this is what I want to do with my money. Now let's get away from marriage because you can spend the whole day there. Let's talk about other things. It is the woman who has to bear a child, yet she doesn't get to decide
the name.
She doesn't get to decide how she will have that child. Even when her life is at risk, a lot of people think that they can decide for her. You must have vaginal birth. It is by force. You must birth like the Hebrew woman, they say. A lot of these things have culture and religion backed behind it. So you hear a lot of pastors going into these things to tell them, pray about this, pray about that. That's a psychological and emotional abuse being meted out to the woman. Then the last part I will raise is the unconscious bias. Jennifer spoke about it a little bit, where you have a conversation, regular conversation with your educated colleagues, your boys, your girls, and I do this a lot. And always hate me for it, because for me, if you're around me, you don't get to say some things. I will point it out to you. And then they say, oh, but you are long. Oh, as for you, the every little thing.
But it's necessary.
It's the subtle comments. It's you thinking that it is okay. You go to a party, and the boys look at you, and they say, hey, the way your backside is looking lately, dear, or don't make those slight comments. it is not okay to make the slight comments. It is not okay to ask for an extended hug from a woman. It is not okay.
Why are you giving me Pentecost hug?
Yeah, then they'll
That is
be
what she wants
you,
to give you. That is it. Respect it.
But say, oh, we won't give you compliments again. I mean, then don't give us compliments.
You ask for an extended hug, or you demand an extended hug. You don't even ask for it. You demand it. Because if the woman says, okay, fine, I'll hug you, and then you are extending the length of the hug, then you fill her up. And you can even tell her, oh, you're not wearing underwear.
Oh.
Oh, yes. You're not wearing underwear. Or they can even count how many beads you have on your waist. Wow. These things are abuse. And you're doing it subconsciously because you think it's okay. You see how uncomfortable you're starting to feel? Because I'm sure you are probably remembering, or you can identify some of the statements that a lot of people would say, and they will always say this to a woman. They will never say this to a man. No boy is going to hug his fellow man and then, one, ask for an extended hug. Two, tell him whether he's wearing boxers or not.
Well, in 2022, it's possible that could happen. I mean
well, but you see the interesting thing with that, even when you extend the conversation to things like consent, men, I mean, I think it was a male friend who even told me that men understand consent when their body autonomy is being infringed upon. Yeah, you see how men are always like, oh, I don't want the gays around me, they'll be touching me anyhow. Yeah, so now as a cis-het man, you understand how your hands wandering in places they should not be also affects women.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, should we go to Zoom?
Yeah, you've got Christine. It's okay. You want to engage Christine, and I'll come back. We'll stay on the systems that you mentioned.
Okay, sure.
But let's talk to Christine.
I think Christine is a gender has
so Christine knows somebody who's experienced some sort of violence.
Right.
I'm not sure which category we should put this violence, but Christine would be telling us how she woke up to that realization to know that I'm being violated against. This is violence. It may be normal, but at what point the friend knew that, listen, this is not right. I don't feel right about it. Hi, Christine. Good morning. Hi. It's good.
Christine, you have
kindly
to
unmute yourself if you don't mind.
Hi, Christine. While she's trying to unmute herself, you can...
Yes. We stay on the systems. Great.
Okay.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, Yemifa.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Good, thank you for asking. And so, I mean, it's no news. This is public knowledge that almost everybody in this world is trying to fight for some sort of gender freedom for women and possibly children. You are lucky to have, not lucky because you won't be happy to know somebody who's gone through some sort of violence, but you happen to know somebody who's gone through some sort of violence. You want to tell us at what point she had this realization to know that, no, I'm being violated against?
Yes, okay, so per my witness, I remember there was this woman where I used to teach. Yes, there was this woman. Every time I'll be hearing a baby crying. I'll be like, oh, why? Always this child will be crying. A very beautiful baby will be crying. So it will start around 3 p.m. That is when all children have closed from school and they will be in the house. But there is no motherly love for this child. Yes. So the other time, per my investigations and some few talks I had with the neighbors around the place, they were like, during the pregnancy of the mother, the father abused her. There was no sign of care for her and the unborn baby. So after this girl or this baby was born, the mother did not also have the the love for the child because of the experience she had from the dad.
Okay.
Yes. So it has affected the baby psychologically, physically, emotionally, because I'm not sure this woman will even cook for the girl to eat. Because the girl will come back from school, from 3, she will cry the whole day. It was very intimidating. Sometimes I'll be like, wow, why on earth would this happen to someone?
How old is the child? How old is the child?
The baby is very beautiful.
How old is she?
She is she's just 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
Wow.
Yes.
And she can already feel...
I wanted to report it to the social welfare so that we will come to the house and talk to the woman. But unfortunately, I thought I'm not a relative. But sometimes I'll ask myself, how best can I help this woman and the child? Because my heart cannot stand. I've been weeping. I've been crying bitterly. Sometimes, anytime I hear the child crying, my heart will be like...
I can understand. This is quite a physical and emotional one as well. Maybe at the end of the maybe this is what the UN is seeking to achieve, empower people to be able to help, at least when they can see somebody or a woman or a child being violated against. But Christian, hang in there. Maybe we'll ask a few questions later. But we'll stay on the system. But then when both of you, when you were talking, I asked myself, how would a young man grow, to think that for him to become a real man, it would mean that he or she has to take care of you. He has to take care of you.
It's a
how was that man raised? That, I want to take care of you. That's what makes me a man. If you don't allow me to take care of you, it will not make me feel as a man. I thought about it deeply and took a trip back to my childhood. And remembered when after school, it's about 3:30 or 4 p.m. It is a natural order. Time up. The boys, you have to go and study. Go and on the fan in the hall. MFI, you have to help your mother in the kitchen. You cannot grow up not knowing how to cook. So I can know my way around the 4 walls of the kitchen. And the boy, my brothers, would know their way around reading or knowing how to go to the farm and growing up to be a man. So clearly, when I grow up and I have to fit in a system where I cannot be able to work, earn money, I have to be
in the house.
Yes, and for my male brothers would have to know that love means that I have to take care of you. And for me, I'm thinking, is that not where the whole culture, localizing the conversation and staying on your example of culture, is that not where the whole culture starts from? Because then my brother is raised like that. He will grow up to have a son. That son will grow up to have a son. So no matter how much civilization would come, it will kick us in the face. How can we change this narrative that love bombing or putting the woman in a natural, in an attempt to say that you have to be a woman, it's a very natural and balanced
subservience rule. Yeah.
You were right, but you forgot one thing. That a lot of parenting parenting or raising children is done subconsciously. It's not what you're actively doing. It's what you're subconsciously doing. So the boy is seeing that, oh, my dad has to go to work and come back. My mom is at home. They can see that. They can see, oh, it's the woman or my mom who is the one that is actually taking care of us, the kids. It has nothing to do with my dad. So he starts, everybody wants to be like their parents. So the boy is looking up to the dad. Father. What is he doing? Because don't forget, your parents are your superheroes, for most people anyway. And so he's looking at his father, going in the morning, probably picking them up from school, coming home, probably sitting down, crossing his legs. And then the mother just takes the food, takes care of the rest. I need to get your bath done, get your food done, all of those things. For the boy, what he's saying is that this is how a family should be. And so this is what I am yearning or I'm learning to grow up to do or to replicate. Then there's the one where they say, oh, you need to study hard so that you can take care of your little siblings. It's actually said to the boys, you need to study hard, get a good job so they can take care of your little siblings, so they can take care of your family. or the ones where the father is not around and says, you need to take care of your mom.
You need to be the man of the house.
You have to be the man of the house. Now, this is a lot of pressure on the boy, because now they need to make sure that they are forcing themselves to grow up, to put themselves in that position. Where the boy does something wrong and he's being beaten and they say, I'm beating you because I love you. If I didn't love you, I'll let you go and you'd be wayward.
Delinquent.
So I'm correcting you because I love you. Now this boy grows up and thinks that to express love, he needs to be violent.
Yeah, the man in the bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct the woman who got the
correct the woman.
wrong,
Yeah.
right.
So now these people really do have no idea or do not believe that the violence they are perpetrating is wrong. They are doing it in a good, they have really good intentions for being violent. And so they don't understand when you tell them that you cannot shout at a woman when you're angry. They feel, but I'm expressing my anger or whatever.
I'm expressing love.
Let me just add to what Marian is saying. Even with things like alcoholism or drug abuse or intimate partner violence or domestic violence in families, what normally happens is if the parents are struggling with that, you see that if care is not taken, the children also replicate the same thing. I think there was this study I read that children of marriages which have domestic violence where the husband beats the wife, that's what they grow up with. They are neurologically wired to accept that this is normal. Even though it's traumatic, it's what they know, it's what they're aware of. So little boys grow up and they abuse. So little boys grow up to marry or be with women who, in some weird way, are also products of that abusive environment. So you see abusive men being with abused women, and that cycle just keeps going on and keeps going on and keeps going on. Which is why it is so important that I think, as Christine was mentioning, that if you see a situation like that where a child is in danger because of something that the mother has gone through, you have to intercede. You have to call social welfare. You have to call DOFSU. You have to call maybe the ARC Foundation, or you have to call Marion or myself, who work with these NGOs which help women in these situations, so that they can step in. Because if the mother is able to get help, to break free, get the financial standing to be on her own and take care of her child, the psychological help, to rewire what she has been taught. Because a lot of women who come from abusive relationships believe that, oh, if he doesn't beat me, he doesn't love me.
Yeah.
Let me, ladies, please, if you permit me.
Please.
By all means.
I've been listening for some time now, and I must say that, of course, certainly, I am all for, us helping make this issue better. But also, I want to know where we can draw the line. I speak from a point where my sister, the one who follows me, went through this physical and emotional abuse in a marriage for years. I didn't know until later I found out. I saw pictures and I was like, where have I been all this while? I had no idea, because when it happens, fortunately, when it happens, my mom, the family, they'll sit among themselves, they'll meet a guy, he'll apologize, they'll go through all that. No one said anything to me. So I had absolutely no idea. So you can tell that it is culturally embedded, That aside, I also, after listening to you, I wanted to see where we can draw the line between separating raising violent-oriented men, and maintaining a healthy culture about, and this is because of what MFA asked about, a man growing up to want to take care of a woman or his siblings and all that. I don't think it's a bad thing for a man to want to, or rather I should ask, is it a bad thing for a man to want to be the head, be the person who takes care of the family, be the ones who takes care of the woman? I'm excited that the narrative is changing now. Of course, women are being empowered. Women are going to school. Women are learning. Women are becoming lawyers. They're becoming prominent people in society. Should we change the narrative and say that no one is head, no one is to take care of anybody, we're all equal? Is it the culture we want to create? Because whatever we decide to accept becomes a culture, becomes the norm. So what are we fighting for? Again, how do we draw the line between, we don't want gender-based violence, sexual-based violence of any form, but we also want to understand that there's a culture of a man has to be a head, a man has to be a protector, a man has to be a provider.
So, I don't know what Jennifer is going to tell you, but
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what I would tell you. There's nothing wrong with wanting to provide for your family. There's nothing wrong with this. But my question is, what does it mean to be the head? What have you seen as an interpretation of someone being the head of his home? What does it look like? What does that example look like? Now, you guys can take a poll any day after today. Go out there and ask people what they understand to mean being the head of the home. They should give you practical examples of things that the head of the family does at home. And you'll be shocked. That is the problem. The problem is not that the boy has ambition of providing for his home. There's nothing wrong. Everybody should strive to take care of their home. But being the head, what does that mean? Because that narrative culturally has been shown to be an oppressive one. Being the head means that I make all the decisions. That is wrong. Being the head means that I must oppress someone in one way or the other. I must show that I'm the man. That is wrong. And so if your question is there something wrong with he trying to be the head? Yes, I have a problem. Because you have shown us that this is what it means to be the head.
Is it being the head? Okay. Is it being the head that is wrong, or understanding what the head that is wrong? Because, and I'll go back a little bit to religion, where the Bible says that husband love your wives as Christ loved the church. And I don't think by that the Bible was saying that lord over your wife. Love her. If you love somebody, you won't abuse them. If you love them, you provide for them. If you love them, you will protect them. So I think being the head has rather been misunderstood, and not that it is wrong. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me just ask really quickly. What is the basis or the foundation of the culture of a man being a head? Is it a healthy foundation? When somebody is the head of something, let me use the his. Is his headship resulting in empowerment across the board? Are women allowed to have a voice? Are they allowed to manage their own finances? Are they allowed to take care of their own bodies? If you are married, can you say, I don't want to have sex with you today, and it will not result in marital rape? What exactly is this headship that we are fighting so desperately to keep? Because in a lot of instances, as Marian was explaining, if you go and you ask people, what does it mean to be the head? It's not the Christian version that you're saying. It's not the loving your wife. It's not respecting your wife. It is the abusing your wife. It is taking advantage of your wife. It is setting a terrible example for your children or even the young people around you. It is making, it is giving off the impression or the perception that men are emotionless, that men, they don't even take care of their own psychological health, so taking care of your psychological health is even beyond them. It is making men to be brutes, that, oh, they are entitled to sex from a woman. Those are all parts of the things of being the head in the house. Do you know how long it took for us to get the marital rape law passed? How many years of campaigning, even the domestic violence bill, up till now, even affirmative action, we are still working on it.
So I think, lastly, if I may,
okay. To respond to the Bible thing, I don't like the fact that anytime this discussion of abuse comes up, there's always the Bible.
Absolutely.
But my response to that is that, one, a lot of people are not Christian.
Sure. Sure.
But they raise children, they raise families, they engage in communities, they get married to people who are also not Christian. That's one.
Sure.
Two, even those who are Christian, who are the same people who use this whole I'm the head and a woman must submit example, do not follow this example. Now, I don't agree with you, and I understand that you're coming from a good place of trying to bring out change, but I don't agree with you that the interpretation of the head has been misinterpreted. The reason being that this is what it is right now. If you come into our culture and you ask, what is the definition of a head of the house? It is not going to be the dictionary definition. It's not going to be what the Bible, what is supposed to be if you were to follow the Bible well. Because these same people, and these people are also led by pastors, who have given this interpretation are the same people who are living this example. So yes, there's the what is supposed to be, and there's the what is. Before you will go to what is supposed to be, you need to uproot this whole system of what is. And you cannot uproot it by saying that, oh, what is shouldn't be. Let's go to what's supposed to be. No, nobody knows what is supposed to be. What we know is what is. So let's even remove it from there. Then if we remove it from there and everybody understands that this system, it wasn't working, it wasn't right, and you want to bring back a new definition of head, fine, we can have that conversation.
Jenny, and I think that's all I'm saying. I want to get clarity because we are all trying to find solutions to this matter. Let's forget Christianity. Let's forget the cultures. Religion. Let's forget all those. Let's forget everything. A man wanting to love, protect, provide is not even founded in just religion. All over the world, or in most cultures, anywhere, even in Europe where we say, oh, there is whatever, men want to protect naturally, they want to provide, they want to love, they want to lead. You understand? So I'm saying that, what are we going to accept as a system if we do away with this? We know that this is very terrible. I mean, the understanding of head now is terrible. We don't like it. So how do we maintain this natural instinct of men wanting to protect, provide, love and do all these things without necessarily killing that value of a man? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Killing that value of a man. Should we change the understanding? Should we empower boys to love and not be violent?
I like to think that I understand what Godwin means. Except I like to think I'm also on the same page with my two ladies here. You see, what we are saying is that in an attempt to want to say you love, there's this, the subconsciousness and the active one, as MK has said. So in an attempt to want to say I love you, give me a chance to want to say I want it. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. If I want to wake up in the morning and go for a run and take a shower and go to work like the way a man will do it, allow me and still love me in that situation. Do not say that, you know what, because I love you, I don't want you to hurt. Don't go. Don't go to work. Stay at home. I'll pay you for staying at home. I'll take care of you for staying at home. It still, it takes us back to years and years of where headness came from. In the past, did you know that a man would take a woman, when they get married, the woman doesn't own anything. Years of being in the marriage, when the man dies, all she does is to pick her dress that she wore back to her father's house. It's still happening. Until laws have evolved, it's growing, where you go to court and they'll say, okay, you know what, this is not fair. So now let's look at the time that she spent at home, raising the children, taking care of you, cooking for you, which gave you the strength to go out there to go and work. So let's divide the properties. In the past, it wasn't like that. And then it went on to even say that women can have the right to own properties. It wasn't like that in the past. So the whole head, yes, for wherever it came from, I don't know, but it came out for whatever reason it came from. Does it matter now? I want to be a doctor too. Do not tell me not to be a doctor because she can pay me to be a woman and stay. And
I think that's what I'm looking for to hear.
I wanted also to add. I get where you're coming from. I get where MF is also coming from. But I think also as part of our socialization, we tend to think that it's only men, only boys who can be raised to take care of their families. But if you see, let me even use in the animal kingdom with the lion and the lioness. Who's the protector in the pride? It's the lioness. It's the lioness who hunts. It's the lioness who takes care of the cubs, who teaches them how to hunt. And even chickens, even the mother hens are fiercely protective over their babies. But when it comes to human men and women, then it's like we're trying to make women look as if they're so feeble and they're so fragile and, they can't. No. Men can take care of the household. Women, too, take care of the household. In fact, in a lot of cases, we have women, I know we like to sleep on the market women, but those women, I mean, back in the day, they were the ones who were supporting the law students. Absolutely. They're the ones on whose backs our economy is lying right now. But when we're talking about anything economy-wise, then we're looking, I mean, yes, we're graduates and everything, but we're looking for those men to talk to. So even as part of our socialization, we have to understand that yes, men take care of the household, but women also take care of the household. We have to acknowledge and respect that. Even by putting everything on men's shoulders. I don't know if you've heard about the gender paradox of suicide. So there's this thing. Women attempt suicide, but more men commit suicide. And there was this study that I read on that which explained why, and it was in Ghana. Professor Safo, he led that study. You know, he's this head suicidologist in Ghana. And his study showed that because of all this, oh, the boy should be the one to take care of the household. He should be the one to lead everything. You shouldn't even allow the woman to also shoulder some. Even if the woman has money, don't even ask her for some of the money. Or if she has, appropriate that money so that you are the head and taking care of everything. That is an enormous amount of pressure. What kind of society are we raising that we feel that it's only men who should be able to take care?
There's a question here.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a question here.
Please.
Before I read this question, we'll go on the percentage of how more than 5 women or girls are killed every hour by somebody in their family.
Yeah.
In their family. Okay, so that we're able to...
someone familiar with them.
At
with
least,
them.
whatever it is. Okay, so I says that, so what's your take on the conception that a man is the one to marry a woman? Are women now need to take the role of marrying men per the debate about who's the head?
So
I think people get it all confused.
Yeah.
So, I think that people trivialize this conversation when they bring up these questions or these examples. But in my profession, every day I have to hear or have to deal with abuse. This is real. People's lives, abuse being meted out towards women. And one time a client asked me, hey, you educated people, so do you face these issues?
You'll be surprised.
And you'll be surprised that more educated people are abused and can't come out because you are supposed to know better. So who are you going to tell that? Just yesterday, a man has locked out his wife and child out of his house because he has issues with the wife. He's taken out her keys and she's been out of the house. Now this is a baby who is not even 1. They've been out of the house for 4 days. And yes, she's calling. He doesn't pick up. His family calls him and he says, oh, I'm out. I will come back. But he's never coming back. She can't go to work. That baby, diapers, everything else is in that house. I can't even imagine all the levels of abuse being meted out to this woman in this particular scenario that I'm giving you. Now, this is not just, somebody will say, oh, maybe you're denying her access to her home. That's access to her shelter. You're causing her to make more expenses than she would have made because of the situation you've put her in. That's economic violence. Now you're putting her in emotional and psychological trauma. That is violence against her. People don't appreciate it. Then I have to deal with another client who is married, young love, she's in love, she gets married. The day of her marriage, the husband is slapping her for wearing makeup that he hasn't approved. And then a few days into the marriage, he drags her naked out of the house and locks her outside the house. This happened in Ghana. These are 2 educated people. The lady is in tech, the man is an engineer. She's naked for the neighbors to come and see her nakedness. This is people's real lives.
Of course. And these things do not start. These things do not start exactly like this. They start with a certain mentality, small, just a little seed, and it is watered, and it grows.
He has seen it being done to others.
You see?
So he's comfortable doing it to his partner.
Jenny, I mean, this exact same thing happened to my sister. I can testify to it. But I've seen the man now, my sister's ex-husband, and I've seen how he's improving and becoming a better person. What I am saying...
On the outside.
What, on the outside? Well, we can't say entirely. But I think what I was asking and what I was trying to understand and also push out there is that when you fight a system, is anything you fight could rebel. You know, this fight without also helping prop up men, without empowering men, without educating men, making them aware that it's not supposed to be like this. So while you're fighting for girls, I am saying that let's teach men the way to go. Because you just don't fight it and say, okay, we don't like this system. So what system are you leaving in place? What are you calling for? So while we're doing that, let's do the right thing with men as well and tell them that you're not supposed to hit a woman, you're not supposed to do this. So we are on equal ground. Sorry. Okay. Let me I'm coming. Okay, carry on. Not to trivialize this matter again, not to trivialize. This is a serious issue. Like I said, I have my blood going through this, so I know what it is. But if we don't help the man too, it will continue, like MFA say, to become a rippling effect, and it will still happen and happen and happen. You'll be fighting, and these people will continue doing
Let me
what
give
they're
you
doing.
my practical examples because of my work. Now, these men, usually they recommend therapy. They never go.
Because the system is still there.
Exactly.
A person will go through the therapy and come back into the system.
No, so you see, the point of therapy is to change the individual. Now, the system can be changed if individuals are changing or becoming better. The system will change.
Sure.
I don't disagree with you that we are pulling men along. In advocacy alone, there's a whole department of advocacy that is focused on let's bring men on board. Let's try and tell men what they can do better. However, there's the pushback in that department because men feel, no, we are not doing anything wrong.
Thank you.
That is it. It is not because we are not doing it or we are not bringing them with us. It's because they feel we are not doing anything wrong. Nothing is false. Don't come and fix something that is not broken.
Not all men. So why
No. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You just said that.
No, don't do that.
He said just not all men.
Don't do that. Not all men.
That's actually not relevant to the
problem. No, you said men are pushing back. I think I said something that I want us to also pull men along in this fight.
But you don't.
You see,
and it sounded as if these men you're pulling along are pushing back, so it can't happen.
You see,
is that what you're saying?
What was the point?
The point is, don't say not all men when we are trying to talk about abuse or oppression.
Right.
No, you just changed what I said.
Men being part of the advocacy. And you see, the interesting thing about men in the advocacy space against gender-based violence is this. Number one,
well, because David Diva Ejeleme says so.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know, we listen upon our marriage. If I'm a Jesu, yeah, best I got to big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's upon our Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. D-da-day.
Drinking my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only David Diva, Black Star Barbie, Feli Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, because David Diva Ejeleme says so.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know, we listen upon our marriage. If I'm a Jesu, yeah, best I got to big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's upon our Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. D-da-day.
Drinking my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only David Diva, Black Star Barbie, Feli Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, because David Diva Ejeleme says so.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know, we listen upon our marriage. If I'm a Jesu, yeah, best I got to big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's upon our Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. D-da-day.
Drinking my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only David Diva, Black Star Barbie, Feli Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, because David Diva Ejeleme says so.
Your songbird Jackie, keep watching MX24.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Last Minute. You watching MX24.
You know what it is upon Marisha. Vama Jesu niwo. Yeah. Big shout out to MX24. Keep watching. It's upon Malians.
Yo, what up? What's up? This be Quasi out there, and keep watching MX24. Keep it locked. D-da-day.
Drinking my hand, I'm vibing. Uber waiting outside. I don't care, I'm still in my towel, dancing in my towel. Hey guys, it's me, your one and only Davi Diva, Black Star Barbie, Feli Nuna, and you're watching MX24. Don't go nowhere, cause Davi Diva Ejeleme says so. Mwah.